हेलो फ्रेंड। सुबह के 7 बज चुके हैं और हम यहाँ पर लाइव हैं। तो अब हम बिना देर किए अपना पेपर पढ़ना हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं। तो ये 19 मई 2021 है। 13 डेट एज टुकटे बैटर्स गुजरात, 19 मिसिंग फ्रॉम बॉडी। नेवी रेस्क्यू 320 फ्रॉम 2 vessels, Ahmedabad inundated after heavy rain. Vaccine lag in rural India points to looming crisis. Shailaja, other veterans dropped from the Kerala cabinet. This is useful for current affairs, so I want to discuss it.
Shailaja, other veterans dropped from Kerala cabinet. CPM Defends Policy as aimed at rotating responsibility. Special Correspondent Thiruvananthapuram. The Communist Party of India, Marxist, State Committee in Kerala on Tuesday dropped high-profile ministers K.K. Shailaja, Kadambally Surendran and A.C. Medin from the new Pinarayi Vijayan cabinet. The CPM has nominated Ms. Shailaja as the party's whip in the next assembly. Ms. Shailaja's non-inclusion in the cabinet has raised several eyebrows. The health minister in the outgoing ministry was seen as the face of Kerala's fight against the Nipah virus and later the COVID-19 pandemic. Her handling of the crisis saw Ms. Shailaja post a historic win of 60,000 votes over her rival from Mittanur in Kannur. Ms. Shailaja, however, denied allegations that the CPM had singled her out for exclusion from the cabinet, saying the party had collectively decided to rotate responsibility. Ms. Shailaja said the fight against Nipah and later COVID-19 was a combined effort that spanned departments. No individual could claim credit for it. She said the people had endorsed the previous government's efforts to help them in a crisis, and this was reflected in the 2021 poll. Ms. Shailaja said the person to hold the health portfolio would do a better job and build on what the previous LDF government had achieved in the sector. The party was paramount, and she had merely answered its call to duty. The former minister said she would focus on her constituency and continue to perform the tasks entrusted to her by the CPM. The CPM nominated Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan as the legislature party leader and consequently chief minister designate. The party also
SC to hear plea on Narada arrest today. Silence showed Dadri village near Delhi as family grapple with loss.
Silence shrouds Dadri villages near Delhi as families grapple with loss. Residents say the Uttar Pradesh government failed in providing adequate testing, primary healthcare, emergency facilities and vaccination. Jatinan in Dadra keeps residents inside their homes. Conversations about the mounting death toll among young people adds to the fear in this clutch of villages in the semi-urban belt of Dadri Tehsil, a short distance from Delhi, in Gautam Budh district. Outsiders are asked to sanitize their hands before a conversation can begin. Villager after villager told this reporter that 2 to 4 deaths were happening in their villages on a daily basis. Some villages, they claimed, had recorded upwards of 20 deaths over the past 10 days. Their allegation: no arrangements for testing, primary healthcare, emergency hospitalization or vaccination have been made by the Uttar Pradesh government despite repeated requests. Anis Khan, a resident of Shahaberi village, told this reporter that he had lost 2 family members and hoped he wouldn't lose another. My father and my uncle, both COVID positive, succumbed to the disease in a 10-day period. Now their mother, my dadi, is struggling with the disease, he said. There is just one private hospital here, which is taking the entire load of COVID patients from multiple villages located in the area. Leave alone arrangements for testing or emergency health care, the government did not even carry out a sanitization drive in our village, Mr. Khan claimed. At least 1 or 2 deaths were taking place every day in Bedpura village, according to local social worker Mahavir Nigar, who lost a 50-year-old sister-in-law and a nephew in his 20s to COVID-19. No testing. No one from the government has come and there is no testing. If there is, no one has told us about it. Look around you, except us residents. The only other thing that walks these streets is not the administration, but death, he said. My wife, Savitri, got fever and had to be taken to a private hospital in Greater Noida. I had to make calls and finally arrange for her oxygen on my own, but for what? She had been in hospital from May 8 to 15 when she passed away, Mr. Nigar's nephew, Virendra Singh, said. At Sadullahpur village, the local doctor ran away due to increasing number of infections and daily deaths, according to resident Bhupender Singh Nagar. The situation is so bad that one house has witnessed 3 cremations in 4 days. Other houses have seen the deaths of boys aged 17 and 18. The village is as deserted as it is now almost all day long. People are afraid to step out, he said. 10 days ago, there was at least 1 death every day, but no one from the government came to check on us. Even the Chief Minister, Yogi Adityanath, didn't pay us a visit when he came for a tour of the district on Sunday, his father Jagat Singh alleged. Most villages, residents said, were left with no alternative but to take the health and safety of their fellow citizens into their own hands. They have ensured strict adherence to wearing masks on the street, restricted the movements of their children, encouraged the use of hand sanitizers both at home and outside, and also pooled resources for crowd-funded sanitization drives. There have been 4 deaths in our village so far, but no testing camps have been set up. Even sanitization drives are being done through private service providers or, sometimes, by teams of residents who use buckets, said Ritapal Nagar from Milaklachchi village.
CBSE extended deadline for class 10th result.
CBSE extends deadline for Class X results. Special correspondent, New Delhi. The Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE, on Tuesday extended the deadline for schools to submit Class X exam results to June 30, citing COVID-19. On May 1, the CBSE notified a policy for tabulation of Class X results based on internal assessment by schools, with the deadline for submission of marks as June 5 and for internal assessment marks out of 20 on June 11. The CBSE said that it would declare the results by June 20. On Tuesday, however, the board extended the deadline to submit the marks and internal assessment marks to June 30. It said the other dates in the schedule would be decided by the result committee.
Lockdown extension adds to the wedge on dispirited daily beggars. AC displaces to Plia on Y clinical price. Siri held for killing foreigners near IGIA. Victim was planning to return home. Vaccination for Tihar inmates aged 18 to 45 begins. remnants of cocktail of heat today. Delhi Kalra taken to Khan Market as a part of probe. Kalra plea for quick decision on bail denied. Court denies anticipatory bail to Olympic medalist.
Court denies anticipatory bail to Olympic medalist. Sushil Kumar wanted in murder case, judge says allegations against him serious. Press Trust of India, New Delhi. A Delhi court on Tuesday refused to grant anticipatory bail to absconding Olympic medalist Sushil Kumar in the murder case of a wrestler, saying that he is prima facie the main conspirator and allegations against him are serious in nature. Additional Sessions Judge Jajesh Kumar denied the relief to Sushil Kumar, against whom a case of murder, abduction and criminal conspiracy has been registered. Wrestler Sagar Rana died while two of his friends Sonu and Amit Kumar were injured after they were allegedly assaulted by Sushil Kumar and other wrestlers on May 4 night, at the stadium premise. Dismissing Sushil Kumar's pre-arrest bail, the judge noted that the allegations against the accused are serious in nature. From the perusal of record of investigation so far, it reveals that prima facie the accused is the main conspirator. Further, the judge said, the investigation is still going on and some of the accused persons have not been arrested. The NBW, non-bailable warrant, has already. The additional sessions judge also relied upon the statements of eyewitnesses while dismissing the plea and said, so at this stage, the court is not inclined to grant anticipatory bail to the accused. Fearing arrest, the international wrestler moved the Rohini court in Delhi on May 17 seeking anticipatory bail, asserting that the investigation against him is biased and that no injuries are attributable to him. In the plea, the sportsman showed his willingness to join the investigation and provide a true and correct picture of the incident to help the investigating agency reach a logical conclusion. Sushil Kumar further claimed to have no connection with the alleged firing that took place during the brawl, adding that the firearm and vehicle found at the place of the incident do not belong to him.
High Court 6 Government's stand on GNCTD Act A. High takes gratia to families that lost member to COVID-19, says CM.
₹50,000 ex gratia to families that lost member to COVID-19, says CM. Kejriwal promises education, financial aid to children who lost parents to the virus. Special Correspondent, New Delhi. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Tuesday said the government will provide ₹50,000 ex gratia to every family that has lost a member due to COVID-19 and an additional ₹2,500 per month if the deceased was the sole breadwinner. The government has also promised free education and financial assistance to children who have lost both their parents. Ration to non-card holders. It said it would also provide free ration to poor people in the capital who do not have a ration card. Due to COVID-19 and the lockdown, many homes are facing financial difficulties. People have lost their loved ones and sometimes, the sole earning member. I know many children who have lost both their parents. We have been thinking about a plan on how to help people overcome this difficulty and have come up with 4 steps to provide relief during this tough time, Mr. Kejriwal said in a digital address. He added that the measures will be passed by the Delhi cabinet in the next few days. Mr. Kejriwal said the 72 lakh people in the capital, who have a ration card, will get from the state government as well an additional 5 kilograms ration under the scheme by the Prime Minister. The central government has fixed a quota for ration card holders for every state and new ration card cannot be made right now. Who are poor and do not possess a ration card, the Delhi government will provide ration to them as well if they demand. They do not need to submit an income certificate. Mr. Kej details about the pension scheme for children. The Chief Minister said, all those children who have lost both their parents or a parent to COVID will be given 2,500 rupees per month till the age of 25. They will also be provided with free education. Offering his condolences to all those who have lost loved ones due to COVID-19, Mr. Kejriwal said it was his duty to take care of the 2 crore people of Delhi that were his family during these troubled times. On where the government COVID-19 relief measures, Mr. Kejriwal said the people of Delhi had elected a government that was working efficiently and had saved money by avoiding unnecessary expenditure.
Reports over 4 cases test positivity dipped to 6.8%. Cancel flights from Singapore, says CM.
Can CM virus strain from the city-state very dangerous? And New Delhi. Chief Minister appealed to the central government to cancel flights from Singapore, which has reported a strain that is said to be very dangerous for children. Mr. Kejriwal took to Twitter to talk about the new strain of the virus in the form of a third wave. The new form of COVID in Singapore is said to be very dangerous for children. It could reach Delhi in the form of a third wave. My appeal to the central government: 1. Cancel all air services. Strict to release a villager named Khamzan. The district police said Lalito Wangam, the head Garbura village chief of Longakao village, lodged a complaint on May 17 relating the incident. According to the complaint, members of NSCN, KR, abducted Mr. Wangsu after firing indiscriminately at the villagers.
My stream मेरा थोड़ा नेट स्लो हो गया, इसके कारण स्ट्रीम को ये कैंसिल करना पड़ेगा। और ये रिकॉर्डेड सेशन मैं डाल दूंगा अपने चैनल पर। बाकी और ये टेलीग्राम ग्रुप का लिंक है नीचे, जिसमें आप पेपर पढ़ सकते हैं। वहाँ पर पूरा पेपर है और उसको आप लोग पढ़ सकते हैं वहाँ से। यदि आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिएगा और बेल आइकन प्रेस कर दीजिएगा। हम लोग यहीं पर इसको समाप्त करते हैं, क्योंकि ये डाटा नहीं ले नहीं रहा है, नेट स्लो हो गया मेरा।